Puberty came, the boobs came, the period came, the pimples came. I turned to skin bleaching. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's your girl Yaya. And before we get into today's video, can we just appreciate how good my makeup turned out today? Hello. It is currently past 11. I know this is not a responsible sleep schedule at all. Please do better than I am. This is a get unready with me skincare routine and just a little chit chat for the girls, because this is a channel for the girls. And before we get started, this is basically everything that I'm going to be using. Oh, I gotta turn around because I cannot spin it in my hand. Starting off with oil cleanser. I like to use this one from Pharmacy, Green Clean. And previously I had really loved the Anua Heartleaf oil cleanser. As you can see, I'm all out of it. This is an empty bottle. And I take a generous little scoop because okay, we're gonna be talking about skincare. I made a video recently about how I don't consider myself a hijabi. And one of the things that I really struggle with the fact that I wear, you know, considerably a good amount of makeup is the fact that I'm so insecure about the amount of acne and acne scarring that I have, and that's really my driving factor for how much makeup I wear or how consistently I wear makeup. So basically you guys are about to witness me take off my camouflage, my barrier, my whatever you want to call it, and get bare with you guys. Now I mean I get bare on social media because even when I do my makeup videos, I start with the bare skin. I don't start with foundation on, if that makes sense. And yes, foundation is getting on my hijab. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, I promise. But yeah, you really just want to go in as much as possible. I don't go in like on my eye per se. I use Micella water for like my actual eye makeup, like my eyeliner and stuff like that. But I get as close as possible to my eyelid and my eyelashes. I did do a little bit of a falsie today. I want to see if it can last through my makeup removal because glue that I used was not one of those like real resistant glues. All right, I feel like that's enough oil cleanser, honestly. All right, so now that you have your oil cleanser it's like literally cut through that makeup. And this oil cleanser business, it's really good at removing makeup. Like real good. And that's why I use it, because my skin already struggles so much from whatever it's going through. I don't want to think too much about it. Whatever my skin is going through, it's going through it, and it's already struggling so much that I feel like if I am sleeping with a dirty skin, yes, I put makeup on and possibly my skin would thrive more if I didn't wear so much makeup, but I feel like if I was to wear makeup, which I already do, and not properly cleanse my skin before going to bed, the amount of acne that I had, it would be my 13th reason. I'm just going in one more time with the wet paper towel to make sure that I really got all of that makeup out, or as much as I can with, you know, just this. And look at that, foundation is literally almost gone. That's just my eyeliner, and that was just from oil cleanser. So by the time I get to double cleansing, oh baby, I am stripping my skin. And so that's why my skincare routine after I take the makeup off is just as important as actually taking all the makeup off. I started having acne, honestly, puberty. So I'm 29, puberty hit at like 11, 12 years old. So I've had, you know, the regular amount of pimples and acne scarring for close to 2 decades now. It does not even bother me anymore. Like, it used to bother me so badly. I mean, it still does. I'd rather not have it, but I do, you know? All right, let me stop talking because right now my skin is really dry from stripping literally all of that makeup off. So the way I oil cleanse depends on how the rest of my skincare routine is gonna look like. So I recently just started using tretinoin again. So I've been trying to be a little bit more gentle, and I haven't been using as much exfoliation as I have been in the past. I'm just gonna go in with my CeraVe foaming facial cleanser and a little bit of water in my hands. Just wash your face like you regularly would. So yeah, I've had acne for going on 2 decades now. It was really, oh gosh, it used to be really, really bad. I've had like ups and downs with my acne. I'm gonna try to find some pictures here and show you guys. Like, one of the earliest pictures that I remember that's like a really clear picture was a picture of me. I believe it was my freshman year. I was going to the freshman homecoming dance, and I had this black black dress on. Now, I was a child, I was not a Muslim, so it's like a short dress, and my hair is out and everything. And I remember I felt so pretty in that dress, and it wasn't until I got older that I looked at it and I was like, wow, acne was eating me up in middle and high school. It was eating me up. And you know, kids in middle and high school, they never fail to remind you that something's wrong with you. So I remember one day I was walking through the middle school hallway. So for those of you who don't know, I was born in Cameroon, but I was raised in America. So I went to my last 2 years of elementary school here, all of middle school, and my freshman year of high school up until almost the end. I left during spring break and just never returned. Well, until recently. So I remember when I was in high school, there was this guy just randomly in the hallway, just because kids are kids and they will say things like that. And he was like, oh, you know, your body is so like sexy or whatever, but your face, ugh, and or something along those lines. And I can't remember the exact wordings, but I remember that sentence phrasing being said towards me, and I was like, back then I don't really think it was like super painful, because he wasn't super cute either, but it was just one of those things that stuck to me. Because literally, look at me at 29 years old, I still remember having an encounter like that with some random boy in high school that does not even matter now and did not matter then. All right, that's enough washing. Let me wash my face. Nothing special, just water. And then before I go in with my white towel, I like to use some micellar water on a cotton swab and just go into that eye makeup, just because I know there's like some residual eyeliner waiting for me to touch it with my white towel, and then it ruins it. I tell y'all, not just some residual, a lot of residual. Now the part about me leaving in freshman year of high school, I went back to Cameroon and I lived there, and it was a much easier time in Cameroon, because like acne is not like a thing that people would see and be like, oh, she has acne, she's ugly. They don't really do that. I mean, they bully on, I'm not gonna say there's no bullying, but they bully on different things. They don't bully you for things that you cannot control generally. So there's not like, they won't bully you for acne, they won't bully, like there's no fat shaming or anything like that. They bully you for like being dirty. For example, if you stink, they'll bully you for that. So I didn't have that experiences when I went to Cameroon. Now, one thing about being back home, and I literally just saw a creator on YouTube talk about this, how her mom has been doing it for like all her life, and it's so ingrained in her that she doesn't even think she's capable of letting it go. But anyway, this is what we got. All right, I'm gonna take off my headscarf and put my bonnet on. And speaking of bonnet, I don't know how I even came across this bonnet. I was looking for silk bonnets on Amazon the other day, and I came across this bonnet from Yanni Best on Amazon, and I bought the black one, and I loved it so much that I went back to Amazon that same day and I bought it in pink and in green. It's so good. I love it. It's silk, I mean, it's silk lined. I think I showed you guys that already. It has like a silk lining, and it has this adjustable strap. So if you got a big head like me, you can loosen it all the way up. Anua Heart Leaf Toner. Going in with that first. So anyway, when I went to Cameroon, I didn't have the same issues of bullying, but I was still hyped because I grew up in America. I was still hyper aware of the fact that I had this acne scarring that I needed to get rid of it. I needed to get rid of the new pimples that were coming out. I needed to stop picking, but you know what? That's a personal problem, because I still do it till today, and I needed to get rid of the pigment, the dark spots that it left when I naturally picked at my skin. So in Cameroon, like I believe most like African countries, or at least like West Central African, East, North, pretty much it's prevalent all across Africa and other continents, but I'm African, so I'm gonna speak to what I'm knowledgeable on. I turned to skin bleaching. I turned to skin bleaching because, first of all, it's not even like it's not a taboo. It's not stigmatized or anything. Because everybody is bleaching. Your mama bleaching, your auntie bleaching, your grandma bleaching. The little baby that they just give birth to, it's so prevalent in African societies that people are giving birth to their kids. And you know how when you give birth to your kid, they have the little, you know, placenta perm, and they have this light bright skin because they've never seen the lick of sunlight ever in their life. But then you look at like the top of their earlobes and you can see that, okay, this baby's gonna have a little bit of pigment to them. It's so bad that people give birth to their children at the hospital. I'm speaking from experience because I was a nurse in Cameroon. So don't argue with me, this is a fact. People give birth to their children in the hospital in Cameroon and they immediately start donning them with bleaching cream. It's a thing. It's a fact, 100% confirmed. I'm gonna hydrate my skin again with this Aveni thermal water. So bleaching creams was just, I don't even want to say part of the society, but like low-key, high-key, everybody's doing it to such an extent that you literally go to the market and you see the ladies in like the cosmetic shops, and you go in there and they get these products from like Nigeria, mostly from Nigeria, I'm not gonna lie. And you go there and you tell them the level of lightness that you want to achieve. So if I go in there and I'm like, look, I'm trying to be 5 shades lighter by summer, they're gonna be like, all right, cool. This is what you need to do. Some will even give you like a whole treatment plan. I swear they will give you a treatment plan. They're like, all right, cool. You need to start with step 1, then you go to step 2, and then by 3 months you should be in step 3, and you're just gonna stay in step 3, and then you're gonna be 5 shades lighter in 5 months. So I turned to bleaching creams, and all these bleaching creams, the primary ingredient that they have in them is hydroquinone or hydroquinone, or however you want to pronounce it. And I know, like, now that I'm more knowledgeable in like taking care of my skin, and I do know that hydroquinone is a good ingredient for fading dark spots and unevenness in your skin tone in moderation. And I think it's prescription only in America. Nah, baby, hydroquinone, go to even your neighborhood store. The little neighborhood store, what you guys refer to like as a bodega, like New York. Go to your little bodega back in Cameroon, the little neighborhood store. You're gonna get biscuits, you're gonna get maybe some toilet paper, and you're gonna get you some bleaching cream. Yup, so you don't really run out. It's everywhere. Next I'm gonna be using my snail mucin. My skin is still damp. I try not to let it dry out all the way before I apply the next product, because right now it's just a real sensitive dry time in my skin because again I'm using tretinoin. But anyway, back to my story. So I turned to bleaching creams and they did help. They did help with my hyperpigmentation. I think that's where I got lost in the sauce, because they helped with my hyperpigmentation. It was recurring. So what does that mean? I had to continue using it for it to continue helping with my hyperpigmentation. And then once they helped with like the initial hyperpigmentation that I had now this new like 2 shades lighter complexion. So when I would get acne and I would pick at it and it would give me new dark spots, they would be more prominent because the rest of my skin was 2 shades lighter than it was before I started this bleaching cream. And I realized this, but I still did not stop, because that was what everybody was doing around me. Everybody was getting 3-4 shades lighter. Who was I to be left out? So I did it. And it's crazy now thinking about it, because honestly what I needed to focus more on was stopping the pimples to begin with. Because if I stop the pimples, the hyperpigmentation, it will eventually clear up. Even like with the help of products, it would have eventually cleared up. Okay, so I ended up bleaching my skin honestly for years. I stopped bleaching my skin maybe a year after I went to Japan. So there's like a steady like 4 years plus, or 4 or 5 years of my life where that was what I was using on a daily basis. I was using bleaching cream, not only on my face, all over my body, because how you gonna bleach your face and not bleach the rest of your body? The complexion needs to match from head to toe. Luckily, I wasn't one of the people that bleaching creams honestly just messed up, because once you use those like high steroid products, a lot of hydroquinone, it just messes up with your endocrine system. It messes up with your endocrine system. You start getting all these other problems like stretch marks. You start getting dark knuckles, like the thicker skin on your knuckles and your elbows and stuff. They remain like super pigmented, and then the rest of the skin around it is like super light, and it's not a good look. So I'm really lucky that I wasn't one of the people that was affected that badly by skin bleaching. And honestly, as soon as I stopped, my complexion completely evened out. Like my face and my hands are the same shade. Actually, my face is darker than my hands because, you know, it's summer and I try to wear sunscreen every day. Sometimes I forget, sometimes I don't take it when I leave the house and I'm not able to reapply it, and you know, other things. But I stopped it. And after I stopped it, while I was in Japan, I was able to get my hands on tretinoin. And so I started using tretinoin. I started using the 0.025%, which is what I'm currently using right now. So I started tretinoin, I want to say like maybe 2 years ago. And when I started it, speaking of tretinoin, at this point of my, you know, skincare routine, I'm going to be applying, they say a pea size, but I be doing more than a pea size. I have a big face and I want it to work super fast. I'm pretty sure that the more I use doesn't mean the faster it'll work. But yeah, I just do it like that. So anyway, I started using tretinoin in Japan, and I would use it and then I would stop because it was my first time ever using tretinoin, and my skin would peel and I'd be really ashy, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And so I complained about it and they were like, that's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it works. Now, you couldn't get tretinoin in Japan, and I have a whole video, I have a video on my YouTube channel actually from, you know, a couple of years ago where I spoke about my Japanese dermatologist nightmare story, where I would go there and they would give me these products that don't work, and I would keep going there and I was like, look, it's making my acne worse. Until I was able to get some tretinoin sent from me from the US. That's literally what saved my skin. And that video, actually, if you go watch that video has pictures of the process, because I had pictures. Like I'm pretty sure I still have them on my phone, but that video like says the whole thing. So anyway, started using tretinoin. Would use it for like 2 weeks, stop it because I'd get super dry and I didn't like it. Started again after, and I was like, look, this back and forth was not helpful. Thankfully, eventually I was able to like stick to it for like a really good period of time. And I was also able to really, because I was living in Japan, I was living in Asia, I had access to Japanese skincare, I had access to Korean skincare. I was able to really just find, and that was when I really started, you know, utilizing the power of social media. I go on Twitter, I, you know, follow people like, you know, Tiara, who gives really good skincare advice. There was LA Beautyologist. She was on Twitter. I don't think she's on Twitter anymore. I would follow her advice religiously, and they honestly helped me so much. I started using sunscreen. I started using sunscreen, and I've actually had periods in my life where I look back now and I was like, oh, the skin was eating. And even now, like, even though I complain about like having all these acne scarrings, it's not that bad. Like, I need to calm down. It's not that bad. So anyway, I was using that 0.25 tretinoin. I eventually worked my way up to 0.05%, and then I worked my way up to 0.1%. Now that one was thick. I had not worked my way up to using that every day. I would use it like twice a week, and then my like literally new skin by the end of the week. Use it again another 2 times, new skin by the end of the week. It was amazing. Then my tretinoin finished. That was when I came to the US. So by the time I came to the US, all the tretinoin that I had been sent and some of the ones that I had purchased from like the Philippines while I was in Japan, it was finished. And in the US, tretinoin is a prescription drug. I'm pretty sure there's ways to get it outside of prescription, but you know what? I'm not that ambitious with illegal activities. So I didn't have health insurance at that time. I had just gotten here. I didn't have a job, nothing. So I was just like, okay, tretinoin is finished. Of course, the acne started, you know, slowly coming back. Plus, I was in a new country. The air here is dirty. I was very, very, very depressed my first like 3-4 months here. It was not a great time. And I'm one of those people that when I start stressing out, immediately 18 new pimples on my face, on my chest, on my back. And I don't have just face acne. I have back acne as well. So anyway, I finally got a job. I finally got some insurance, but I still didn't really like jump to the dermatologist. That was not my first stop. It's not until like 2-3 weeks ago that I was like, look, I need to utilize this health insurance and I need to get myself to a dermatologist and I need to get me some tretinoin. So anyway, I made myself to the doctors and they gave me actually 2 things that I should be using. They gave me this clindamycin phosphate and benzoyl peroxide. We all know about benzoyl peroxide. And they gave me my tretinoin 0.025%, and they also gave me 0.05% just so that once I can work my way up to 0.005 on my own. This benzoyl peroxide, I'm not like unfamiliar with it because I do have a couple of benzoyl peroxide items. Like I have this from La Roche-Posay that is benzoyl peroxide that I would put on like new breakouts that I would get. All right, I feel like my tretinoin has absorbed enough into my skin. Before I finish this little chit chat, I'm going in with this Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. This is honestly my favorite moisturizing cream. And another thing that I had to relearn about using tretinoin is after I've put tretinoin, if I'm layering product on top of it, start putting the product on the place where you haven't applied tretinoin and then go to the spot where you have applied tretinoin, because what happens if you're just like going all over is you're literally going to take tretinoin from where you've put it and transfer it to more sensitive places like your eyes and your under eye and your cheekbone that don't need tretinoin, and then it's gonna burn. Because my first week I had a burn. So yeah, that's my journey with like acne and honestly to where we are today that I'm using tretinoin again. Okay, usually I would go in with this propolis honey mask from COSRX, but overconsumption got to your girl and I bought this Biodense collagen mask, and you're supposed to sleep with it on, and I figured why not. Now the acne itself or the acne scarring doesn't bother me as much because first of all, I'm an adult. I don't care that much. I have a job that I gotta care about. I got life that I gotta care about. I have bills that I gotta care about. I have my future that I gotta care about. Acne, not one of my concerns. None of my concern anymore. It's none of my concern. Yeah, that's how I feel. Ew, it feels slimy. Ew, brother, ew, what is that? Ew, brother, ew. I don't care as much now anymore. We are adults. if you're commenting on my acne and my acne scarring, babe, you need to get a job. You need to find something to do with yourself. But it's still something that obviously I'm working on. But yeah, this is the end of our skincare routine. I'm gonna try to do a video in the morning to show you how this peels off if I spend the night with it. But if you made it this far, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the like button, hit that bell notification button so you're notified every time I post a new upload. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below if any of this was relatable so that we can connect. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok as well. I'll be posting videos on there as well. And Instagram, you can keep up with me like daily, like what I'll be doing daily. But until next time, good night. I look like a ghost. I look so weird.